لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
What is the best way to attach people's hearts to the masajid? My local mosque doesn't have much activities. Please give us some tips on how to do so.
So how does one attach people's hearts to the masjid? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, إِنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. Mosques are for Allah. Right? So it is very difficult to be disconnected, particularly in the stretched spaces of suburbia, etc., from the mosque. However, we have to remember that mosques are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not about, is this a welcoming mosque, is it not? One should strive to be connected to the mosque and encourage others to connect on that basis. And also, one of the ways that can help if a masjid is not welcoming, that people running the masjid may sometimes have particular understandings, is if you attack them for, say, be more welcoming. They say, just leave me alone. But if you encourage them that one of the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ is that, and Shaykh Abdul Ghani Nabulsi mentioned this, that when the Prophet ﷺ corrected, he corrected in uplifting ways. So he wouldn't just tell people, don't do this. He would show them what they could do. So if you suggest positive ways, right, that, if you do this, I think more people will come. And that will, and you put it in a positive way, right? So there's one masjid in Europe, I won't mention which country. I went there and it had this sign, and I kid you not, in the entrance, no visible tattoos, no earrings, no ripped trousers, no this, no shorts just below the knees. Forget about up above the knees. All these kinds of, I forget, there's a long list of things. That's just for the men. There's a longer list for the women. So, afterwards we got to, I wanted to comment on this to the Imam. But first, I was talking to him, etc., asking how's the masjid running. And it's very clear that sometimes people are harsh because of their avidness for the good. But it's expressed not in the right way, perhaps. So I just asked, so this topic came up. I said, I noticed the signs are very interesting. Say, oh yes, we want to encourage people to uphold the sunnah, all these kinds of things. So I just asked a question. I said, I wonder which would be more pleasing to Allah, to have 2 rows of people who are dressed in, I was using his terminology, in sunnah clothing, if we could get 2 rows of such people in the masjid, or if we could get 2 rows of people with tattoos, earrings, and ripped trousers. 3 of the things that they mentioned on the thing. And the Imam's face lit up. He said, SubhanAllah, if we could get rows of people who are like that, they would benefit much more from the masjid. Because the people who are already dressed, quote unquote, according to the sunnah, they've already benefited in their deen. I said, that's an interesting line of reasoning. But I let it sort of come from him. He said, Shaykh, you've opened my eyes. We need to encourage such people to come, and then we have to, of course, then he was like, then we have to get them to change. I said, but even then, I just, that you do, but you have to do it gradually. And then he said, yes, because that's what the Prophet ﷺ used to do. I said, what hadiths come to mind? And he thought about these hadiths, right? So this is part of, what the mashayikh tell us, and it's not easy. All of us have harshness and ugliness as part of our temperament that we need to sublimate. Nasallallahu al-afiyah. But, this is, the Prophet ﷺ uplifted people by the way he corrected them. And that works much better. You have to make positive suggestions or to facilitate them to come to those realizations. We don't do it by attacking people and belittling people. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.